Welcome to all our new and returning customers to the September Product Update webinar. Next slide, please, Kate. Today, I'm joined by Scott Gibbons, our Head of Product at Talis Aspire, and Kate Broadfield, our Product Manager. Before we start the session, some housekeeping rules. If you have any difficulties hearing us, please rejoin the Zoom session and select Connect with Computer Audio. We encourage you to connect with each other in the chat, and if you have any questions, put them in the Q&A box, and then we'll answer them at the end of the session. And lastly, this session is recorded, and it'll be sent to you after. Next slide, please, Kate. So today, in terms of today's agenda, we've got an update on the release of the bookmarking update. We also have an update on the recent CCC integration. We have an update on the development of ad resources. We also have an update on the development of list privacy and Talis Engage. And we'll also take a look ahead at the rest of the 2025 roadmap. And we'll give you a reminder of our upcoming reviews, the reviews webinar. And lastly, we'll answer your questions at the end of the session. With that said, over to you, Kate.
Great. Thank you so much, Juan. Welcome, everybody. Really great to have you all join us today. I will start out giving you an update on the bookmarking workflow redesign. As you may be aware, we announced that is ready for use in July. And congratulations and thank you to all the people that have started signing up and using it. So just to clarify where we're at now, for bookmarking new resources, this is available now. We have many people testing it and institutions that have already gone live with it. Some of you have reported some questions and issues, and we are working through those. So if you tested and fed back early on, I would encourage you to retest. And then the edit existing resources. This is actively in progress now, and we're expecting that to be released in the next few weeks. Initially, we'll release it through the reviews edit resource so that the librarians will be the ones you will have the access to those edit screens. So next steps. Just a reminder to anyone who may not have heard already, the old bookmarking edit form will be shut down. That is expected to be December, January, around that time frame. We do not know precisely, but what we would encourage you to do is to raise a support ticket now to schedule your go live date for your tenancy so that we can do it when it's convenient for you. So that's the basics. And thank you again to everyone who's been using those that new form. Thank you. And with that, I will send it over to Scott.
Thank you, Kate. It's going to talk a little bit about the Copyright Clearance Center. We've done some improvements to integration for those of you that use this copyright clearance route. Next slide, please, Kate. So we did the CCC ACLHE verification. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? And that was done last year. And what that does, it's very similar to those of you that use a CLA clearance. It checks to see if the items that you've requested for copyright clearance are available in the license. And if so, it gives you the rights, you know, the photocopying or the digitization rights on screen, so you know what you can do with the items. We've updated that now with a few new features. So we've got pay-per-use workflow. This means if there's an item that doesn't have the verification, you can purchase it directly from the CCC, and it'll tell you how much it's going to cost for the number of students that are in your cohort. So it comes up number of students that are in that module, the details, and how much you would need to pay for that. We won't be billing you here at Talis. They will be billing you at the CCC. So you have to have an account with the CCC for this to work. There's also a special request workflow. Some items don't have a price in the pay-per-use workflow. And negotiation goes directly to the publisher. So some publishers say, no, everyone has to come to us and we'll set a price. So we've also got that workflow built in. So if it says special request, you can fire that off. That takes you into the CCC website in the special request area with all the details filled in. So that website will handle that. And the final part for this is the CCC ACL survey form. So if you're using the CCC for your copyright clearance, there's a forum, a report there effectively that records all the usage, so you can forward that on every at the end of every year. We've got our first customer switched on to that this new integration in the last week or so. It's primarily used by US universities, but it is available for anyone that's got a CCC license to use. And if you want any more information about that, we're happy to give you that. And there's also been a press release about that just a couple of weeks ago with all the information as well. Back to you, Kate. Next slide.
Thank you so much, Scott. All right, I want to talk for a few minutes about what's coming up next. So our previous piece of work was improving the flow from the extension when you're bookmarking a resource out from the web. And for this piece of work going on now, we're looking at when you're in a list, editing a list, and you want to add a resource at any given point, how we can improve that search modal. And we've talked in the past about a number of different ways that would benefit you, and I just want to reflect how that's coming along. So the first thing we did after we estimated and assessed the work is that you would be best served if we split it into 2 phases. And so I'm happy to report that we're going to jump right out of the gate with mandatory importances. So for all of those of you who do have that turned on, you will now be able to kind of have more control over that through both access to a list. So you'll be able to improve your student learning, improve your library purchase acquisitions. So if you have it turned on, you can see in the diagram in this mock-up design, when you click add to list on an item, if it's turned on, then you will get your list of importances as defined in your tenancy. If it's not turned on, that's absolutely fine. You will not see this drop down and it'll go right onto your list. The second thing that we're planning to do is expand those item details. We need to help you differentiate the search results. So we're going to give you an expand, as you've seen in other parts of the Aspire application. And for here, we'll just be showing you some more metadata that should help you differentiate between different search results that you've found. And then finally, actually, let me just add one bit. We're not going to have every bit of the location in your library, that sort of thing right off the bat, but we will start out with a check availability and an ability to link online or just to add it to the list. So what you see here is what we've planned for the phase 1. And then finally, the item labels that we introduced in the new bookmarking flow, we will also provide here so you have a quick and obvious visual for you. So if there's a match to your catalog, then you'll see the available in library. And if there's an online resource, you'll see that badge here. Just to know that different institutions are configured differently, so there may be some differences. If you have any questions or help, then if you haven't already, please do raise a ticket through support, and we can help you work through those questions. And we are working on improving some of those as we've gotten feedback. So thank you very much for that. So that's it. We're looking for somewhere around late September or early October is what the intention is. We think that's about how long it'll take to implement these for you. And we're looking forward to seeing how that works for you. So with that, I will hand it back to Scott.
Thank you, Kate. So we're just doing a couple of minor changes. Have a look at the next screen, please, on list privacy and engage improvements. So we've had a few universities with concerns about the privacy of lists, particularly when you are in LTI. If you can't, you can search for any list to add to your LTI. So we're going to be switching a privacy option on, so you can, these will be optional changes, you don't have to have them, but one will be, so when you're searching an LTI, you can only search the lists that you own to add. That will be an optional change. And the other change will be the homepage in Talis Aspire, for those that have switched on privacy, would go to My Lists instead of the place where you can search. These are both purely optional, but we know some people have concerns about anyone being able to go in, search any list, display all their lists. So we're having those 2 options available for people that are concerned about privacy. Those will both be available in September. We're also doing some small Engage improvements based on feedback. We had feedback from a number of people that have tested Engage, been using it, and we're going to be making the accessibility a bit better in the reader itself. So when you're in the Engage PDF reader, you'll be able to tab through to make comments, which wasn't available in Elevate or in the Engage reader before for PDFs. So that's addressing that accessibility issue. We're also just making some improvements to the messaging. People said there was a confusion because sometimes there's a copyright clearance delay. So we'll have a file upload successful message there. And also there will be a reminder message on the upload file button when a hierarchy is not attached. Both these things cause a bit of confusion for users. So they'll both be done quite soon, and these should be available in September. So just some quick changes to those two areas in September. Next slide, please, Kate. So just a quick look at the roadmap for the rest of this year. Next slide, please. So for 2025, we're in September now. We've got those things that Kate and myself have presented today. And we're just looking at the rest of this year. So we've got two major pieces of work, as well as some continuous improvements, some probably ongoing bookmarking improvements, and other little bits of pieces of changes to improve things. But the main big feature for the back end of this year is going to be tagging. This has been asked by a lot of universities. Pretty much all the Australia and New Zealand universities that use Aspire have been asking for this. And some of you may be involved in our discovery that we did earlier in this year. Based on that discovery, we'll be having a tagging feature. The librarians will define the tags that are available to use, and all list editors will be able to use the new defined tags against items in a list. So you can define 1 tags, 20 tags, 100 tags, but they're defined by the people that have got the rights to do that, librarians, not by the end users. It's planned to have both visible and hidden tags. So visible tags will be visible to the students. So you may want to put a tag in the visible area so that students can see whatever it is you want to tell them through tagging. I know some people have talked about open access journals, people have talked about Indigenous people have written this works, all sorts of different tags. So those will be visible tags, but you could also put in a hidden tags. So you made up stuff that you just want to tag up, that you just want to run a report on, or you want the academics to see, but you wouldn't want students to see because they're just for information. Reporting on tags will be available as part of this as well. So you'll be able to run reports to see which tags are being used on which items, on which lists, and go in and edit those tags easily as well. So as I said, built on all the discovery we did earlier this year, and that work will start on that in October. We plan to get that done by the end of this year. We're also going to be doing some work on advanced MIS. We know a lot of people use advanced MIS to run statistics, and we're going to be just going through all the MIS data points and ensuring users can get the best advantage of MIS service. We know some data points that don't fully report. We know some data points that people have requested they'd like to see. So Kate will be looking at that. George will be looking after tagging when she's back from holiday. She's just picked a few days off. So, and Kate will be looking after the advanced MIS enhancements come October, later in October. We do plan to do, as I said, some continuous improvement. One of those continuous improvement tickets that will come through is on DC. Those of you that use DC for your CLA, you will know there's a analytics chart that shows where you can pick the last 7 days, last month, last 3 months. We're going to put a date picker on there as well, which is something that came through the ideas log just a couple of months ago. Please put a date picker. So we're going to have a date picker on that DC, so you can say, I want to look at the usage from this date to that date. So we do try and go through those ideas log and pick off some of those tickets as and when appropriate. And over to you, Juan.
Perfect. Thank you, Scott. Next slide, Kate. So you might have seen advertised on our newsletter we've got quite an exciting webinar coming up with the University of Warwick called Reviewing the Reviews, a journey of developing an efficient reading list review process. And essentially during that webinar, we'll cover how the University of Warwick moved from using an in-house system to using reviews in Talis Aspire, and also cover the many decisions they made along the way. So this webinar is on the 24th of September at 2 p.m. UK time. Even if it's not a suitable time for you, would recommend you registering for that, and we'll send you a recording after. With that said, we've got plenty of time for questions, so it's over to you, Scott and Kate, for questions.
Okay. Do you want to read them out one and then?
Yeah, I'll read them out. All right. So we got one. It's a question for Kate. It says, this is for Kate. It says, could I clarify, are the changes to list edit expected to go live this October?
Thank you, Ken. That's a terrific question. For phase one, yes, we plan to send those live right away. We're keeping the same modal, and as you can see, it was generally going to be the same what users have, so they should just have these new 3 features pop in. So yes, that's a good question. Thank you.
Perfect. This is one for you, Scott, since George is not here. So it's about Engage. It's something we've raised, institutions have raised on the idea side. Can uploaded Engage documents be clearly tagged within reviews?
We have talked about that, and it seemed like a good idea. We haven't scheduled it at the moment, but it's definitely something we do want to do. So I think the answer is yes, but it might not be in September. It might be something we do early in 2026. But yeah, it's definitely something we've talked about in some detail.
Another question regarding, it says, how does hiding the homepage work in practice? Will library staff still be able to log in to access the admin area and reports?
Yeah, so this effectively libraries will still have all the menus on the top. So when a librarian logs in a normal way, they'll still have the menu bars across the top to access their resources. This is just so that people can't really go in and search for all your reading lists, which some people had some privacy concerns about. It won't stop librarians doing any of the work they want to do.
Okay, perfect. Any plans to update the dashboard analytics?
Yes, what we're doing with dashboard analytics is our development team's got a away day in a few weeks where they're all going away to look at a number of different problems and different solutions. And one of those things on their list is the dashboard analytics and list analytics. So we'll see what comes out of that, but we do have an intention to update the dashboard and list analytics. We're just going to see the best way to do that, because lots of things you can do with analytics different ways, and they're going to go have a bit of a hack day and work on that. So that'll be exciting to see what they come back.
Right. So this question is about advanced NIST. Will NIST documentation be revised as part of the NIST review?
Yes, it will be. We'll update that documentation as when the new things are available.
One for Kate. So Nick was wondering if you could remind everyone of when the previous or bookmarking process will be switched off.
Yes, thank you. Welcome, Nick, and thank you for your question. Yes, so the existing long-time bookmarking screen, the edit form, is planned to be shut off around the December-January timeframe. So I'll just ask the question again, if everyone who's not already live, if you could please schedule, raise a support ticket and schedule when you want to go live, and then we can do it on your timeframe. Thanks. Any other questions?
I don't see any other questions. We'll give it just a couple of minutes to see if any further questions come in.
It's really terrific to see everyone on the call today. A lot of familiar faces and a lot of new names as well. So welcome aboard.
Okay, so don't have any additional questions? Okay, I think since we haven't received any additional questions, I think we would like to, oh, we got one last question.
Hi,
So,
Claire. It's nice to hear from you or see from you there. Yes, we've got your your ticket through about some of your concerns, and I know that Kate and the team have been looking at those, and they'll look to resolve your problems, which some of them are common. So there's it's things that we know about problems with.
I'll coordinate with the support team to make sure that we can feedback some of those when they're ready for you. Thanks, Claire.
okay, perfect.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to see you all again. Take care.